What's up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thank you for being here. I have had a lot of new people join the channel lately, and I'm just so grateful for all of you. My name is Bree. I read a lot of books, and it's mostly thriller books, I will say. However, I read all genres, and today's video is actually going to be about fantasy books. I'm calling all my fantasy friends to the front of the class for this one because I seriously need some help. There are several very well-known popular fantasy series that I have had on my shelf for a very long time, and it's about time to either commit to reading them or unhaul them to someone else who will enjoy them. And I just need help. I need either convincing to keep them and read them or convincing to let them go. These are all fantasy books that people talk about all the time. Pretty much everyone knows what they are, and I do love fantasy. I read a lot of fantasy. Mostly everything behind me on these shelves I have read, especially the ones that are series. I gravitate toward those quite a bit, and there's just some that have been sitting here for a really long time. So I'm just gonna go through a handful of the ones that I have and need help with, and let's get right into it. Number 1. This Woven Kingdom by Tahereh Mafi. I own books 1 and 2. I have read and loved the Shatter Me series. For some reason, I just can't bring myself to start this one, and I just don't know why. I have had several of my friends read these books and love them as well. I just don't know why I don't start them. I have read the synopsis and it does sound good. What I need to know about this is how does it compare to Shatter Me? Because I loved Shatter Me, and sometimes when I read a book in fantasy, this pretty much only applies to fantasy for me, but sometimes I'll read a fantasy series from an author and love it, but then they'll write another fantasy series that's just completely different from the vibes of the first one, and I think it's more of like a hesitancy for me because of that. As I read like the inside for this book, it sounds good. It sounds really good. It's just something about it is not grabbing me. So my question for you guys is, what would you tell me about these books in order for it to really grab me and have me say, okay, I'm 100% reading those, or should I just pass them along to someone else who would enjoy them? The next book I have is more of a high fantasy, which I'm not opposed to. It's the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin, and I have heard nothing but great things about this book. I'll tell you what makes me hesitant about it, but before I get to that, the reason why I bought this is because I once met someone on this bookish trip that I went on who said that this was his all-time favorite book ever, and that no other fantasy compares to this. Like, literally, he said it was perfection. I'm a sucker for a fantasy book that makes me feel that way. Like, I'm not familiar with the book that he was referring to, but I'm very familiar with the feeling he was referring to, and that sold me immediately. So I bought this, but it's been sitting on my shelf since. I honestly don't even know what this one is about. I should probably take a look and see. My biggest issue with this book, the reason why it's a holdup for me, is because I had also heard that the Farseer trilogy from Robin Hobb, the Assassin's Apprentice, the Assassin's... what's that second one? The title is eluding me. I cannot think of the title right now, but you guys probably most likely know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I was told that that was like an amazing, amazing series, and I could not get past the second book. I loved the first book. I could not get into the second book. It was very slow. Tell me how this one compares to that, because I heard about these and bought both of these at the exact same time. So now my brain is like associating this book with that series. I don't know how to break away from that, but I'm hesitant to start this one because what if I have the same experience? However, I have heard that this author is a fantastic storyteller. Discover the Broken Earth trilogy. So it's a trilogy. It's won several awards. It says, this is the way the world ends for the last time. It starts with the Great Red Rift across the heart of the world's sole continent, spewing ash that blots out the sun. It starts with death, with a murdered son and a missing daughter. It starts with betrayal, a long dormant wound rising up to fester. This is the Stillness, a land familiar with catastrophe, where the power of the earth is wielded as a weapon, and where there is no mercy. To be completely honest, I got nothing from that. I'm like, it's very confusing. Things like that make me hesitant to start a book because like, what is it even about? Guys, please sell me on this book. Please, 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 I'm begging. Sell me on this book. Please tell me why I need to read it, because I really want to love this as much as other people love this. Next, 100% the same feelings as the last one. I have heard so many people love this series, and it's Legendborn, and this has been on my shelf for so long, I'm actually embarrassed. I've had Legendborn forever, and then I even went and bought the pretty copy of Bloodmarked when it came out, as if I had already read the first book and was highly anticipating this one. I don't know why I did that. Some legacies are meant to be broken. After her mother dies in an accident, 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants nothing to do with her family memories or childhood home. A residential program for bright high schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill seems like the perfect escape until Bree witnesses a magical attack her very first night on campus. Is this YA? I honestly feel very naive about this book. However, this sounds really good. Like, see, this is like the type of synopsis that I need for this book. I need to know, like, who is my main character and what's up with them. A flying demon feeding on human energies and a secret society of so-called Legendborn students that hunt the creatures down, and a mysterious teenage mage who calls himself a Merlin and who attempts and fails to wipe Bree's memory of everything she saw. Okay, what I want to know about this book is how complicated is this magic system and the world building? Because naturally, if it's YA, it wouldn't be that complex, but when we have magical creatures, we have a secret society, we have a mysterious mage, and that's only half of the synopsis, so there might be more. That is giving a bit of an idea of more complex world building and magic system. What did you guys think of it? How complex is it? Would you say it's YA, or is it geared more toward adult? Other than that though, it does sound good, although sometimes I do struggle with the dark academia setting, so I wonder like how deep into that it goes. But here we have it, Legendborn. I'm ashamed to say I haven't read it. I have owned these for a very long time, and I would love to get into that series. The next book that I have, you can tell that I am very easily influenced by my friends, because another friend of mine that I follow has raved and raved and raved about this book, and the first time she ever raved about it, I bought it, but it's been sitting on my shelf ever since. That is The Ever King by L.J. Andrews. I love the cover of this. I've heard that this is dark. I've heard that it's spicy, morally gray. I've heard that the characters are easy to fall in love with. I know that there is at least a book 2. And to be honest, I can't recall ever hearing or seeing or watching a negative review for this one. I think this book is very well loved. It did get a lot of hype when it first came out. Let's see what it's about. The Ever King. They stole his crown, so he stole their daughter. Okay. For years, Eric, the scarred king of the Ever Kingdom, has thought of nothing but vengeance against the man who killed his father and trapped him beneath the waves, making Eric a prisoner in his own realm. I do love when a fantasy book takes place within water or on the water, and it sounds like this one might. When his enemy's daughter unwittingly breaks the chains on the Ever, and Eric plans to toss her into his game of revenge. She's innocent, he's vicious, but he will take back what he lost no matter the price unless she steals his heart first. Okay, so it's giving enemies to lovers. It's a little confusing, to be honest. I just think that fantasy, like, it takes a lot for fantasy to really click for me, as much as I love reading it and do enjoy so many different fantasy books and series. I would also say that I'm very strict with them. Like, if it's not hitting in the beginning, then I'm not going to waste my time on it. So I would hope that when I do start this book, I would hope that it catches my attention right away and keeps me entertained and doesn't like lose me in a bout of confusion. Once I'm lost, I start losing interest in the characters, losing interest in the plot, and then I just no longer care what happens and the book just gets DNF'd. So let me know about this one. If anyone has read this one, what you guys think of it. Let me know if you think I should read that one. The next one I have is a series that I actually just received these special edition copies, but the series itself has been on my TBR for a long time. I'm so excited for these. Oh, they're so heavy. It's the Jade City series, Jade City by Fonda Lee. Look at how absolutely stunning these copies are, and they all have the matching metallic edges to match the book. They've got like the little bookmark in there as well. I am just obsessed with this. The end papers inside, everything is just beautiful. These are beautiful, beautiful editions. You can see like the matching metallic edges on books 2 and 3 as well. I don't know anything about this. I did at one point, because I remember someone reviewing this series and saying that it was amazing and giving like a little review on what it's about, and I remember thinking I'm adding that to my list immediately, but since then I don't remember what they're about. How cool is this? It's so pretty. There are also like a couple of maps in this. This is just stunning. I really want to read this just because I'm gonna enjoy flipping through these pages. Let's look up what this series is about. A fantasy story that follows the Call family, a powerful clan that controls the island of Kikon. The book combines elements of organized crime and martial arts with fantasy, centering on a clan war that erupts between the Calls and the rival Ayat family. At the heart of the conflict is magical jade, a mineral that grants its users superhuman abilities, and the emergence of a new drug that allows anyone to wield it. Okay, this is definitely going to be something a little bit more complex. Like, I feel like you're really going to have to focus when reading this. But what a cool aspect to combine like the martial arts, the superhuman abilities. It almost sounds like a fantasy like superhero type of novel. So here we have this entire series. So there are quite a bit of pages. The books seem to get bigger as they go along. What I want to know about this series is it worth it? Is it worth the time investment for all of these books? Because this is a lot of pages here. That would be my main question for this one. These are definitely super hyped up. I know so many people love these. Also, it may be a little bit cliche, but I do feel like I mostly gravitate toward romantasy. I feel like the ones that I really end up loving are fantasy books that have a romance subplot, and I'm pretty sure these don't, but I think that might also be the case with the 5th season. Then again, does Bloodmarked and Legendborn have any sort of romance? The 5th season, I don't think this has romance at all. I've never heard anyone hint at that, but maybe it does. One more that I have, friends, that I really want to get into so bad. I have read one of his books before, however, it was a standalone book. Yes, I did love it, but I would love to dive into his series. He has several, there are a ton of books, they are extremely popular, and I'm wondering so hard right now if any of you are guessing who I'm about to say, but it's gonna be Brandon Sanderson. He has so many freaking books that I'm honestly just intimidated. I'm very impressed by this author. I'm impressed by like his fan base and how many people just love his books, and I want to be a part of that. I suffer from FOMO pretty bad. I have always heard that starting with Mistborn is the way to go. The one book that I have read from him so far was Tress of the Emerald Sea. Loved Tress of the Emerald Sea. I also really want to read, what is it called? Something like Numi? Is it Numi? The Nighttime Painter or something like that? I'm probably butchering it. I have a really bad memory, okay? But whatever one that is, I'm pretty sure that that's also a standalone, and I've been wanting to read that one for a while too. But mainly his series I really want to get into, and it's intimidating because one, there's so many, and two, I believe that most of them are interconnected. What does he call it? Like the multiverse? And I'm just intimidated. So if you had to tell someone where to start with Brandon Sanderson, would you say Mistborn or would you say something else? But also, why Mistborn? Like, why is this the one to start with? Is this just like the beginning of the story, the beginning of the multiverse, or is it the easiest to read? Whatever it may be, do your best, guys. Tell me why I should or shouldn't read Brandon Sanderson. I would love to give one of his books a try to kind of see for myself. I'm also curious to know what his books are like on audio, because sometimes an audiobook really just brings the story to life. If any of these are good associated with the audiobook, let me know. I love to do a tandem read where I listen and read along with the physical book at the same time. That's like my favorite way to consume a book. I also feel like that's just kind of how I get the most out of the story. Like, the narration, sometimes the narrator can like really just do such a good job with the voices and the emotion, bringing the story to life, but then also seeing the words physically and going along with the words. It brings like my comprehension level to the next level. So that's it for this video, guys. That's all I have. There are a bunch of other fantasy books that I have that I would like to eventually dive into, but I would say these are the ones that have been on my TBR the longest. Some of these have been sitting on my shelf for so long that they're actual dinosaurs at this point. So I would love for all of my fantasy friends to tell me their inside scoop about each of these books. Let me know in the comments why I should read these books. If you loved them, please share that love with me, because that's how I thrive on my TBR. Like, I love to hear other people's passion for books that they just absolutely loved. So that's it for this video, guys. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel so you can see more future content from me. It is so fun to make videos, so I'm so grateful for everyone who watches, and I will see you guys in the next video.